today, I'm going to show you how to create straight through cable. So today, we are going to use Cat5e cable and also a LAN tester and also RJ45 and lastly, a crimping tool. Don't worry students if you don't have wire stripper or wire cutter because crimping tool is a multi-purpose tool. Okay? Let's start! After preparing all the tools and materials needed, we need to make sure that the body of the wire has not been damaged. So we may peel for lumps or anything unusual while examining the cables, as this can cause errors and may not even let your cable work. Since our cable is fine, we can now proceed to the next step. So this time class, I will now strip the cable jacket about 1.5 inches down from the end. So class, since I don't have a cable stripper, I will use a multi-purpose crimping tool this time. After that class, we need to spread the 4 pairs of twisted wire apart. For the next step, we need to untwist the wire pairs and neatly align them in the T568B orientation. So class, be sure not to untwist them any farther down the cable than where the jacket begins. We want to leave as much of the cable twisted as possible. So now, we will align them in the T568B orientation. So the first wire is orange-white, followed by orange, then green-white, followed by blue, blue-white, followed by green, then brown-white, followed by brown. So when unwinding them, try to bend them back and forth a little bit so the copper can flatten easier. So this time, we will use a crimping tool to cut the wires as straight as possible. If the wires are too long, you can shorten it by cutting them using your wire stripper. But this time, since I don't have one, I will use a crimping tool. So for the next step, I will now carefully insert the wires all the way into the modular connector or our RJ45 connector. Class, you need to make sure that each wire passes through the appropriate guides inside the RJ45 connector. As you can see class, RJ45 is transparent. So you have your chance to check all the wires if they are in the right position before crimping it. After that, we may now proceed to the next step. We need to push the RJ45 connector inside the crimping tool and squeeze the crimper all the way down. So class, don't forget to support the wire. You need to hold it while crimping it. So you can crimp it 2 to 3 times, and this time I will crimp it 3 times. Now that we're done with the first one, let us just repeat all the steps to the other end. Okay? Let's start. Just to have a quick review, the first thing that we need to do is strip the cable jacket about 1.5 inches down from the end. And then we need to spread the 4 pairs of twisted wire apart. And then after that, untwist the wire pairs and neatly align them in the T568B orientation. And then lastly, we need to cut the wires as straight as possible. Again, for T568B orientation, the alignment of wires will be orange-white, then orange, green-white, then blue, blue-white, then green, brown-white, and brown. So this time, I am pushing the RJ45 inside the crimping tool. Then after checking the wire alignment, I will now use the crimping tool to crimp it thrice. So this is a straight through cable wherein both ends use T568B wiring standard. So for the final step, to make sure that I've successfully terminated each end of the cable, we are now going to use cable tester or LAN tester to test each pin. As you can see, class, there are two separate bars of indicators and each of them consists of 8 lights. If all the lights blinks at the same time, that means that the cable is now good and ready to use. Okay, class, we're done. This is now the finished product of straight through cable. You know what, class? Creating straight through cable is very easy as long as you follow all the steps carefully.